Hello, students. I, Mrs. Nehal Falkau, welcome you all back to the series of online lectures initiated by Shet Vidya Mandir English High School and Junior College of Science and Commerce. Students, today we are going to look at the first poem from the poetry section of your English course book, The Song of the Open Road by Walt Whitman. Let us learn about the poet. Walt Whitman was born in Huntington on the Long Island in the New York area. He worked as a journalist, a teacher, and a government clerk. He was a well-known American poet, essayist, and a journalist. He had very little formal schooling, but he considered himself to be a lifelong learner. Many critics regard him as one of the most influential poets in the American canon. He is often called the father of free verse. His verse collection, Leaves of Grass, is a masterpiece in the history of American literature. His poem, O Captain, My Captain, written on the death of Abraham Lincoln, is widely popular. Let us take a quick look at the analysis of the Song of the Open Road. The poem is an ode to one's self. An ode is a lyric poem with complex stanza patterns. This poem appeared in Whitman's one of the most influential poetry texts of all time, Leaves of Grass, which was first published on July 4, 1855. The poem utilizes free verse. Song of the Open Road is told from a first-person point of view. The section 1 of the poem from Leaves of Grass is a beautiful blend of self-awareness, free will, and tenderness of the heart. Song of the Open Road. Afoot and light-hearted, I take to the open road. Healthy, free, the world before me. The long brown path before me, leading wherever I choose. Henceforth, I ask not good fortune, I myself am good fortune. Henceforth, I whimper no more, postpone no more, need nothing. Done with indoor complaints, libraries, querulous criticisms, strong in content, I travel the open road. The earth that is sufficient. I do not want the consolations any nearer. I know they are very well where they are. I know they suffice for those who belong to them. Still here I carry my old delicious burdens. I carry them, men and women. I carry them with me wherever I go. I swear it is impossible for me to get rid of them. I am filled with them and I will fill them in return. By Walt Whitman. Now let us study the poem stanza by stanza. First stanza. Afoot and light-hearted, I take to the open road. Healthy, free, the world before me. The long brown path before me, leading wherever I choose. Explanation. Here, the speaker declares that he is setting out on a trip on the open road afoot. Afoot means on foot. The speaker describes himself as being healthy and free, as he is carefree and happy. Secondly, he is light-hearted. Light-hearted means carefree and happy. He is open to all he is about to experience. Additionally, The speaker recognizes that it is he alone who is in complete control of his journey and also his life, because he will choose where the path will take him on his journey. That is, he will choose his own destiny. The second stanza continues the thoughts expressed in the first 3 lines. The second stanza: henceforth I ask not good fortune, I myself am good fortune. Henceforth I whimper no more, postpone no more, need nothing. Done with indoor complaints, libraries, querulous criticisms, strong and content, I travel the open road. Explanation. Here, the speaker says that he does not have to pray for good luck anymore because he is the maker of his own luck. He will no longer whimper, that is, complaint. He will not postpone and hesitate to do what he wants because now he is in need of nothing. He says that he is done with staying indoors and complaining all the time. In fact, now he is strong, content and happy to be on the open road. Third stanza: the earth that is sufficient, I do not want the consolations any nearer. I know they are very well where they are. I know they suffice for those who belong to them. The speaker's carefree tone that we found in the second stanza is continued throughout the course of the Song of the Open Road. In the third stanza, the speaker seems to separate himself from others. He says the earth is fine the way it is, and he does not desire to be any closer to the constellations. Constellations is a configuration of stars as seen from the earth. This line, I do not want the constellations any nearer, means that he no longer relies on the stars in the sky to decide his destiny. Like other people, he does not want to rely totally on the constellations because now he will create his own destiny. He knows that the constellations are where they are, and he knows that they suffice, that is, they satisfy or serve those who belong to them. Now, this last line is in strong contrast to the rest of the poem, where the speaker emphasizes his free will and independence, which means he probably does not include himself in the group of people who belong to the constellations. That is because he does not belong to them and he does not need them anymore. Fourth stanza: still here I carry my old delicious burdens. I carry them, men and women, I carry them with me wherever I go. I swear it is impossible for me to get rid of them. I am filled with them and I will fill them in return. Now, dear students, if you have observed, Whitman separates the fourth stanza physically from the rest of the poem by use of parentheses, that is, with the use of brackets. Now, this fourth stanza is almost an afterthought that the speaker decides to throw in, but it is still an important part of the poem. In the fourth stanza, the speaker admits that he is not without his own burdens. He has his own burdens, but instead of fretting, that is worrying, he relishes them, that is, he enjoys his burdens. Now, delicious burdens means fond memories of the past. The speaker also admits to everybody that he carries his burdens with him wherever he goes. He declares that it is not possible for him to get rid of his burdens. Instead, he and his burdens share a symbiotic relationship with each other. Symbiotic relationship means a relationship where both depend on each other equally. So here he says that he is filled with his burdens and in return he also fills them. That was all about the explanation of the poem. Now let us take a quick look at the free verse form employed in the poem. In the analysis in the earlier slides, I have spoken about Whitman's use of free verse. Now Whitman was an expert when he used the free verse. Now what is a free verse? We have already studied free verse in the 11th standard, but let us take a quick glance at what free verse actually means. Free verse is a literary device used in poetry that is free from limitations of regular meter or rhythm. It is used in poetry so that the poetry does not rhyme or have a regular rhythm. Also, when free verse is employed in the poem, the lines are unrhymed and they are of varying length. That is, the length of the lines is not the same. In this way, the poet can give his own shape to the poem as he desires and can use various poetic devices. Let us now study the poetic devices used in the poem. The first one is paradox. The line in the poem, "Still here I carry my old delicious burdens." Now dear students, a burden cannot be delicious. The poet has used this combination of words to express that he has many sweet memories of the people and places which he would like to remember forever. The poet has used seemingly contradictory expressions, that is opposite expressions, to convey the meaning that his heart is full of sweet memories of good and kind people. In the poem, he says he wants to be free from any type of attachment. At the same time, he wants to cherish these sweet memories in his heart forever. Now, this expression contains opposite ideas that make it seem absurd or unlikely, although it may be true. Such a figure of speech is called as paradox. The poet has also used metaphor in the poem. The road in the poem does not mean only the road to travel. The poet wants to suggest the road of life. Thus, the journey that the poet is about to undertake is a metaphor for the journey of life. So, the road that he is about to set out on is actually a road of life and the decisions in life he is talking about. Thus, the journey that the poet is about to embark upon is a metaphor for the journey of life. That's it from this poem. Thank you students for watching this video.